Okay, good. So that's it. We're good for there. Sweet.
Fluff the hair.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the True Colours podcast, where we share our views on life, relationships, and culture, exploring big questions and providing simple answers to them, with your hosts, Jay Claire and Sally Olver.
Welcome to True Colours podcast, episode number 16.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, sweet 16.
As sweet as Christmas Eve is.
Is it? Is it sweet though, Jason? Is it?
It depends what you're eating, really.
Right. And I think that's a great intro to the topic of our discussion today, but we'll get to that. First, before we get to the whole theme of today's episode, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
You good?
I'm very good, actually. I'm on holidays like most people are now. Had a really crazy Christmas party on the last day of work on Friday.
How was that?
It was very good. It was 45 degrees, so
Oh my! Oh,
it was like hot right to the middle of the night. I'm walking home at like 11:30. It was still 35. It was mental.
that's great.
How about you? How you been?
Yep, all good. Had a party last night. That was super fun. Forgot that we were casting this morning. Got a text message from Jason at 8 o'clock. I was like, oh, I should really make some coffee. Head hurts a little bit. Jason, you'll be ready in 5 minutes? Oh, yeah, we're podcasting this morning. Give me half an hour, dude. So I was able to shower, make coffee, get dressed, prep, half an hour. That's a professional.
Nice. Yeah, you know how to turn it around quickly, don't you?
Well, yeah, you have to. You know, are you committed or are you not? It's simple as that.
So tell me about you got something from the week that you want to talk about?
Something from the week that I wanted to talk about. Not really. I mean, it's we're still in this silly season.
Haven't been saving any old people burning in the sun recently. Yeah, Wonder Woman saving the elderly from.
I am saving the elderly, and I'm happy to do that. I do have something.
Except when that elderly person is the person who runs you over, like happened to me the other day.
You got run over?
Well, not run over. So I'm riding down the road and hit a feed section where cars are coming. And the dude obviously looked to the distance, didn't see any cars, but didn't realize I was literally right in front of his car. Started driving, smashed his side mirror, and he was about 90 years old. So he's me raging, not knowing how to respond. It's like, I'm like, you shouldn't be driving, dude. Like, you're too old. You are way too old to be driving. I'm going to report you to the police.
Would you do that?
Yeah, he could kill someone else.
Fair call. Or himself. No,
he's old.
Reckon he doesn't
He's
have
had a good life. He lives in bloody Armadale. He's obviously fine.
He's done well. Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah. So that was my thing from the week, nearly getting killed by a 90-year-old driver, then not knowing how to respond to it in my regular way. I think the wife was having a heart attack in the week. She said I don't know if she was because she's white, so it was she was pale white because of what happened, or that was her normal face. But she was just had this deer in the headlights look, just stuck there, because obviously, I'm the friendliest of looking people, and then it's Yeah, me.
Oh, nah. Come on, man.
What's that?
Your face completely negates the bald, inked up. I'm sorry, you've got the face of a baby. So for me, I'm just like, you're not intimidating at all. Or is that because I know you?
No, but I do have a really angry face, like when it's angry.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm completely desensitized to that because I'm Mauritian. I'm like, whatever, man.
So people say they've got resting bitch face. I've got resting F off face. And I don't mean it either. It's just my natural poise is just an aggressive looking vibe. So there's not much you can do about that.
We are Mauritian, which means anger runs through our veins.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice. We don't mean to be so angry, but that's why I love, I can get in a heated conversation with you and we both know we're cool as.
Oh yeah.
You can just call me a fool and I'm like, just don't even feel that. But if someone else was, I'd cut them off immediately.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah. For real.
Mm-hmm. All right, what are we talking about today?
I think, so Jason...
Right, this is week 4 of festive season podcasting.
And our love for Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Said in sarcastic tone. Oh, you know what? I'm really impressed that you have made the effort to have this glistening Christmas tree in the foreground. In the background, I'm sorry. You are in the foreground.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I'm a Christmas tree.
You know what? It looks great with the walls. Your house is dope. You've got a dope house. And I would say that's really Annie's influence, right?
It's got nothing to do with me. I've been painting some bedside tables this emerald green to go in our pink room. So that's
yeah. And when you say pink room, I guess our listeners would go, what? But it is dope. It's done European so well.
Pink.
It's so good. It's so
Mexican
good.
pink, European pink, whatever you want to call it.
And he's very gifted for sure. So I think, Jay, you had a really good suggestion for today's cast. I love it. So the question was, we wanted to keep it's the festive season. We wanted December to really be about, asking some bigger questions about Christmas, or what Christmas is in this day and age, or what Christmas has become. And I think you had a really awesome question, and your question was, is Christmas a pollution nightmare? Discuss. It's really good.
And the simple answer to that question is yes, it is.
Yes.
All right,
episode 16 done. No, we need to back it up. We need to back it up.
Yeah, I think it flows on from a little bit about our discussion last week in regards to who's Christmas for, what's it turned into, and we're at a place now where Christmas, as we discussed last week, has transitioned into, for those who are secular in their celebration of Christmas, is that it's predominantly a time to just buy stuff and give them as presents. And what comes with that is this consumption of stuff that people don't really need. As in, I like that it's for the kids and stuff like that. Yeah. But when you start like you're an adult, you don't need a present. What were you? It's what your birthday's for. Just save your birthday. Christmas is for kids.
Christmas is for kids.
So we obviously have the understanding that it is a pleasure. Everything I was putting together Lucy's bike today.
That's awesome.
And and man, was a nightmare. I was looking at the price. It said $79 in a box or $89 pre-built. I was like, should have spent that extra $10.
Oh, dude, did you feel like
it was
Terry?
An hour gone.
Did you feel like Terry on Brooklyn Nine-Nine putting the dollhouse together?
Yeah.
That was you, man.
It was really. I was actually surprised that I got through it so smooth. Actually, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like lifting my dad game right now.
Oh yeah, no. And I think you know what, when you get into that mindset, like that's when you know you can achieve these amazing things. Like when the motivation is for your child, and you're like, I am not going to let this kid down. You access this part of your brain that you didn't know existed. You're like, I've got this. I will not let this bike defeat me.
And you know what?
Amazing things. You hear of women, you hear of mums lifting cars to save their children. Yeah, because there's something in the brain that goes, I will not. Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Have you not heard of that?
There's not a thing that ever happened.
It has happened.
A mum lifted up an 800 kilogram card.
Well, maybe she had some help, but she was determined. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Mm.
So anyway, back
the
to
weirdest part is like, so in the package,
yeah,
there's the bike, but the bike has got pieces of plastic on there. It's got these little things tied together. It's just got crap all over it. So,
right.
So by the time you've assembled it, you've then got a box that was packed in just filled with crap.
No, yeah.
And all it is to really satisfy the consumer, because no one wants to buy something that's scratched and banged up and give that to their kids. So they're doing what they need to do to appease the consumer.
Yeah, they're doing their job.
It's a cycle of ridiculous overpacking so that people are happy. Yeah. And then we just throw all this crap away and it just goes into landfill. Or you recycle what you can, obviously, but a lot of that was plastic.
See, nah. I can't cope. I can't cope. So when the kids were little, and you know, as we've discussed on the previous show, you kind of get into that mindset. Oh, it's more for you. You get more excited about buying them gifts as opposed to how excited they are, because they don't play with them for that long. Well, I've got autistic kids too, so that might have something to do with it. They're not imaginative and they don't play a lot, so that might have something to do with it. But the majority of children's toys, like if you go to Kmart, Big Dub, Target, the majority of their toys are plastic. Okay, so it's only if you're going to specialist stores that are really using those natural materials, cottons and wooden and those sorts of things, and they're gorgeous, but they're so much more expensive. Okay, so that's that.
Yeah. Well, what was it?
They're awesome. I love those things, but
we have a different opinion on those.
You don't like those?
Nah, they're crap.
What are you talking about?
You can't get a remote control car made out of wood.
Okay, well, maybe I
think it's like a train set. Yeah,
right.
nah.
Well, maybe I'm looking at it from a 43-year-old perspective. I'm not looking at it from a 5-year-old's perspective. So that's a fair call. But yeah, so much of
hang on. Well, as a 40, how old are you again? Sorry, say that again.
I'm 43.
From a 43-year-old's perspective, do you think an iPhone is better made out of wood or
I don't know how to respond to that.
I think you're playing like this whole, you're playing the wooden sustainable toys, and then you just
You won't.
Going to rationalize it back, and
No.
Ah,
You're not letting me finish. You're not letting me finish.
Sorry, you go.
What I'm saying is go back a couple of years, and the majority of what, or if not everything that we bought them was plastic, right? That's the facts. So we've got Molly Bell a whole heap of Barbie stuff this Christmas, and whatever, that's what she likes, so that's what she's got, and it's all plastic. Okay, just park that for a minute. My issue is the excessiveness. Because if you're buying too many things for your kids, it's all plastic, and then there's only a shelf life for that for your kids, because they grow up, they get bored, their interests change, and so now you've just got all this stuff. Okay, my argument is I don't think you can. No, you can't say, all right, everything I'm going to buy you now is wooden. That's unrealistic. I understand that. But I'm saying...
And organic cotton.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty cool. But my argument is, the amount that you are going to spend, however much that is, that's going to vary between people and between salaries and earning capacity and all of that, right? Can we reduce that to have something that the kids really, really want, and you go, okay, and then the rest of it is like an experience for the whole family, something that you can all do. Like, I don't know, however that presents for your family, because, people have got different interests. For us, maybe it would be, a dinner and a movie, right? Let's just say dinner and a movie. Dinner and a movie is expensive, man, for 5 people. Let me tell you, that's really expensive. But I would rather than buying them all this bitsy stuff that they're going to play with for 5 seconds. I would rather go, you know what? Let's all go out, order your favorite meal, and have an experience. Like, there are other ways that you can show people that you appreciate them. I think it's lazy to just go, oh, we'll just buy stuff.
I think an experience like that would be, I'm not trying to poo-poo your idea, but a massive waste of money, because kids don't appreciate good food.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
That's an example.
I can't think of another example. I don't know. Adventure World. I don't know. What are kids like? I don't even know what. Laser tag. All right. So we all go out and play laser tag. That would cost laser tag and lunch, right? That would cost a lot of money, but I would actually prefer to put money into that than to buy them stuff that they're not going to like. Sammy's at an age at the moment, it's really cool. Like, he's right into reading. So I don't have an issue spending money on books. Absolutely cool. That doesn't bother me, right? Nadie he's a cracker. He's the next Steve Jobs, I'm telling you. So they all know they're going to get like about $100 worth of stuff. Looks at me and Matt and he goes, can I just have the money? And we're like, you know what, man? Sure. So for his Christmas present, we've opened him up a bank account because he loves to save. The kid's got more money than I have. It's ridiculous. So every time he gets money from grandparents and whatever, he saves it. He actually doesn't use it, which is quite advanced for his age. But I don't mind doing that. I don't mind going, okay, he's old enough to make his own decisions, because I betcha if he's got that $100 in his hand, he's going to make a wiser decision than walking through the toy shop going, I want that, I want that, I want that. Now it's his money. Now he's got value and appreciation for what something costs. And I can tell you, all the stuff that they wanted, they don't buy it. They're like, no, that's actually a waste of money.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's really interesting. Yeah. Molly Bell, I'm okay. I'm not.
Is she already past Santa? Is she?
No. She. She says she believes. I think it's that whole thing. If I believe in Santa, I'll get more presents. She knows, man. She believes in Santa, but she doesn't.
Is it because of her brothers, maybe though?
Oh, Nate told her straight out the gate. She was about 2. She goes, an autistic kid's got no filter, and it's going to tell you. There's like, this is Nate. He was about 4. Comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Mum, Santa's not real, is he?" And I'm like, what do you think? It's always the best answer to give a kid. It's like, what do you think? And he goes, "Nah, don't reckon Santa's real." He goes, "You're telling me that one guy gets around to every single child on the whole planet in one night? Nah, it's not real." He's figured it out. I mean, he's obviously, he's incredibly intelligent, but I'm not then going to go, "Oh no, Santa's real. He's figured it out." So I'm like, cool, That was always my thing with Santa. I'm like, I think it's bollocks. But Matt liked it. Like, he's like, "Just seriously, Sal, like, just let them." And I was like, okay, this is my thing. I'm going to allow them to believe in Santa for as long as they believe in Santa. I'm not going to do the whole Santa thing. If they come to me and they figure it out and they say, "Mum," because it got to a point where I'm like, this is the only thing I lie to my kids about is Santa, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny. I don't lie to my kids about anything else. I tell them the truth about everything else except for those 3 characters. So I'm like,
is the Tooth Fairy still well and alive?
Do you know how much Matt gives our kids per tooth?
What?
$10.
That's like $300 for a whole mouth.
I'm like, what are you doing, man? And now it's like
a massive upgrade.
I thought it was like 20 cents. No.
Well, technically, if you think about it, we used to get like coins,
inflation.
like gold.
Inflation.
We used to get goldies back when we were young. So if you actually look at it,
I never got a goldie for a tooth.
You never got a goldie?
For a tooth?
Yeah.
No. 50 cents. Max.
And
I reckon that was for about 3 teeth, and then it was just done. It was over.
Well, Lucy already knows this whole concept of
money.
When I lose my tooth, I get money. And I'm like, where did you even learn that from? The Tooth Fairy comes. And I'm like, oh. And I'm thinking I think the kids' shows, they would have it on there.
Or maybe she's being influenced at daycare.
Yeah, that silly person at daycare giving them bad ideas.
So I did some research, right? I did some research. And I'll see.
How many tons of plastic do we just throw away during Christmas time?
It's pretty gross, man. It's pretty gross. So let me get it up here. No.
I did read, though, that consumption of like buying over Christmas has reduced year on year for a long time. Now.
Reduced?
Yeah.
Not according to what I found. So
Australia has. 2018 was the lowest in 10 years, apparently.
Okay. So Australian. Sorry, I had this up. Australian spend. $2019, right? I started with 2018 and then I did 2019.
Well, so that wouldn't have 19
the Australian Christmas spending statistics.
Yep.
Retail sales grow by 2.6%, 57 billion, right? On the amount, and the average amount an Australian will spend on Christmas this year is $969. Okay? So that is then broken down into, I mean, this is a very generic average stat, but on average, Australians spend $471 on travel. So that would be like visiting loved ones and whatever. On average, they spend $386 on presents. I think that'd be higher. I don't think
that's not that lot. That's not that much at all.
Nah, this is on average though. This is on
Per
average.
person?
Per person. This is like on average.
Person.
Decorations 40, average spend on charitable donations 41. Oh, hang on, that was by state. Let's go to Victoria. The number of people who will be relying on credit is 5.4 million. So 5.4 million people.
Buy Christmas presents on credit.
Yeah.
They stand by presents.
Yep. Yep.
You can't afford to buy it, then buy it on credit card. That's crazy.
No. Okay.
You've got 12 months to save up for that day.
Yeah. So Christmas retail sales in 2019 are estimated to grow by 2.6%. Okay, so we're talking 52.7 billion in Australia alone. So in comparison to 2008, food's gone up 3.2%. Apparel's gone up 3%. And just other general retailing's 3.6%. So on average, all of it in total is 2.6%. It's gone up by.
Between 2018
and 2019. So it's gone up.
Yeah, but that's probably.
No, that's okay. That's cool. Like
No, that's probably just in line with the population, though.
Yeah, it absolutely. Like, but my point is, it's interesting to have.
Slightly higher than population growth. Sorry, 1.5% was population growth.
Yeah. So on average, it's $464 per person. But I think it's way more. Like, yeah. But that's gifts. That's not like decorations. It's not parties, festive, all of that stuff. But arguably, what we're saying is we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about.
Who cares what you spend? It's whether it's wasteful.
Yes.
Or polluting.
That is what we're talking about. Yes, true.
Yeah, and I think
so spending's one thing, but I think what I was trying to demonstrate through those statistics was a lot of money's being spent on Christmas, and I wonder how much of that, I mean, we don't have the stats on that, but I wonder how much of that is wastage. I'd love to know a lot of it.
I imagine.
And that disturbs me, Jay. It disturbs me.
That's life.
Jason! Gosh! Is that zero sugar can kicking in, mate? Feeling a bit relaxed on the whole issue?
Oh, look, I've got, I don't like that it's wasteful, but at the same token, it's, well, what exactly do you do? Like, what's the solution to that problem?
So, I mean, I think there has to be, for the individual consumer, there needs to be a motivation, right? So if pollution and wastage and sustainability isn't something that motivates you, you're not going to change. It's just the way that it's going to be. But
I think to add on to that is, I don't think it actually is much of a thought in many people's mind. I don't think it's like I think it's, when people sort of break down what's top of mind kind of thing. Right now, like you said, a great example is they're not worried about the wastage. They're worried about the gift. That specific fact that nearly 1/3 of adults turn to credit to buy Christmas gifts. So the only thought that they're actually wondering about is, how do I get Christmas presents? Not is it going to be wasteful? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's priority.
That's where their mind's at.
Yeah. So
the
mindfulness in regards to things like such as waste, I think, is a very
it's an afterthought.
Yeah, and it's also a very minority of people, I would say, that really think that hard about
it. It seems that way. It seems that way.
Like it's a fleeting thought for me rather than a conscious one. Does that make sense? So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm buying all this stuff. Bit of waste there. Meh.
Yeah, see, it's a very conscious that I incorporate that into my spending big time. So, you know, like you said earlier, you said, well, you know, what do you do then? I have plenty of suggestions here. So I think I've just become a bit more like, I love buying people gifts. I love showing appreciation through giving. Like I actually really like that. But like now I'm at a stage where I give a lot more thought into how much I'm spending, what I'm spending it on, who I'm spending it on. Is what I'm buying going to be received? You know, I've got this book here. This is the book. I don't know, can you see?
The 5 Love Languages.
The 5 Love Languages there. It's by Gary Chapman. And it's there's 5 different types. So there's words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, receiving gifts, and acts of service. So receiving gifts is only one of 5. Okay. So for me, I think I'm a real words of affirmation, quality time girl. So now what I'm doing for the friends that I'm really close to, this is not all my friends, this is just a select few, is if it's their birthday, I take them out for lunch. So instead of buying them a gift, I actually take them out for a lunch, shout them a bottle of wine, shout them, you know, whatever they want to eat, pick somewhere nice, and I had that time with them. And I just, for me, I'm just like that.
But do you think that's less? You think that's less wasteful?
Absolute. Well, in my mind, it is.
Yeah. Well, I think need to rethink it though, because you both need to drive there. There's all the CO2 emissions from your cars. There's all the electricity in the restaurants that you've got. There's all the waste from the food that you. I'm just being like, that's just devil's advocate, right? I think you've got to put the things in perspective. I was actually going to ask you the question, like, there's this thing of like, well, what's wasteful? Someone who rides their bike around and buys a few gifts for their kid, or the person who buys sustainable gifts but drives friggin' 50 Ks all around town just to find these gifts. Like, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
It's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question, and I respect it. I think that's a legitimate.
I'm not trying to have a go. I'm just like that. There's that whole, because I think about these things all the time. Like, because I think, and it's great that you have nature at heart of what you're trying to do, but there's this, every action still always has a reaction. Like, doesn't matter what you try to do. It's like
it's a broader context.
But it's all about, I think, ultimately what it comes down to is your intent there is to be getting away from wasteful things like packaging and stuff like that.
Yes. Matter of fact, yes.
Let's transfer our pollution to something else.
Yeah. Or maybe we should just catch an Uber and cut petrol costs. That's an option.
Let's jump on the tram. I'll meet you there.
I'm taking you out. Can you just catch a tram? So there's that. That's a big thing that I do now, is I take someone out for lunch or dinner.
Is there a thing in the 5 love languages, like a methodology of finding out what your love language is, or you just got to figure that out?
Yeah. But I think it's pretty obvious the way that you conduct yourself. Like I would say for you, your love language is quality time, for sure.
Yeah.
right? You appreciate sitting, like you'll appreciate a gift, sure, but I think you have a higher appreciation for sitting down, having conversation, having a laugh. I think, and I'm not dissimilar to that. So that's one. Another, it's funny. I've got written down here, you can pay for someone's petrol. Like, you can pay for someone's grocery, like, depending on the situation. And Mum had a really, really good...
That would be weird.
No, wait.
Oh, happy birthday. Here's your Caltex card.
No, wait.
Be like, am I poor? Do you think I'm poor? What's going on?
Depends on the situation. Let me finish. Say, for example, right? Yeah. When someone has a baby, you get, and it's really lovely, but you get a whole heap of stuff. No, yeah, well, one to get out of there.
Uber Eats, I mean, sorry.
When they have a baby, right, you get all these toys and clothes and stuff, and that's really lovely. It's beautiful that people want to shower you and the baby to say, welcome to the world, child, right? Do you know what I would have preferred than all those gifts? Everyone putting all that money in for a cleaner or like HelloFresh or something like that. That would have been the best gift, but like the money is the same, right? If not less. The money is the same. I would have preferred that practical help. So I'm not saying I was ungrateful about all the gifts that I got, but it's kind of stuff we sort of had and didn't need, like teddies and all of these sorts of things. I'm just trying to say that in the context of the gift giving and dependent on the person's situation at the time, like say for example or someone is doing it really tough, they can't get from A to B and you buy them some flowers for Christmas and they're like, lovely flowers, man, but what I needed petrol so I could get to work, so I could feed my family. And so there was a situation like this recently, and I know of someone who was struggling, and I wanted to buy them like a groceries thing, and Mum said, what would be even better is buy them like a Coles Myer voucher, and then it, like you're saying, it's not like you're poor, I'm rich, here you go, I'm saving the day. It's like, you just give them that card that sort of it's brought, and they can spend it how they like. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the voucher. The voucher is amazing.
I think the voucher is thoughtless.
Oh, well.
It's like, couldn't think of anything. Here you go.
Depends who it is. So I got, amongst a couple of other gifts that I've got for Matt, I bought him, like, he loves him a foot spa, right? Matt loves a bit of a foot spa. Bit of reflex.
Soak of the toes.
No, reflexology. So I got him a voucher for that because he really appreciates that. So I don't think that's like mindless. I think that's something that he'll go, oh my gosh. Does he want another T-shirt? No.
No, there's a difference between a voucher for like a Chadstone voucher versus a actual specific foot massage. That's a thought. You've thought that doesn't like that. Whereas like a generic voucher is just like, I couldn't think of anything. Here you go.
I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad either.
I'd be like, that's great. Awesome.
Thank you. You do not know what I want, so I know better. Thank you.
Yeah, but you know what? The other thing is, I don't know about your parents, but my parents do this all the time. Their gifts is always cash. It's always money.
I wish my mum and dad would do that.
Oh.
You know how many socks and jocks my mum has bought me over the years?
My dad, he is the money man. He's not rich. He's not rich, but he is just, and my mum is exactly the same. They like giving cash.
Yes, cash. How much for cash?
Yeah. But I don't think that they give that as a means to like, oh, I couldn't be bothered. I think it's the reverse. I think it's actually
So you're finally realizing it. Oh, maybe they just have no time.
They've got too much time on their hands, those two. Yeah.
I think trying to figure out what people want is the hardest thing in the world. You know, like it's someone's birthday. No, I hate the whole ritual of all these events that people have. It's like, am I supposed to buy a gift or not? You know, like there's all these rules. This is like a totally different show, right? But I'll just give you an example. There's that whole, what are the rules around all these events? So someone gets married.
Yeah.
You get invited to their wedding. Well, how much are you supposed to spend on a wedding gift? Like, where's the rules for this stuff?
No, the etiquette is for a wedding, it's supposed to be around the So if you and Annie get invited, not that you would be privy to this information because who would tell you, but the etiquette is you're supposed to spend how much the seating costs. So if it's $100,
ridiculous.
Well, that's just the etiquette. Whether you choose to do that or not is up to you. But the etiquette is you're supposed to spend the amount of money that, like, per head at the table. As I say, you're not how are you going to be? What are you going to do? Ringing the bride and groom up and just say, oh, how much is it per head? Just so I know how much to spend at Myers.
Yeah, but this is like here's one for you. Like, it's a birthday party where there's no. It's basically a turn up and you have to pay for everything yourself. Do you buy them a gift?
No. It depends.
If you're rocking up to
who it is.
So would that be the line of where you decide to, so if it was a party where it was catered, bar tab, you're like, I'm buying a gift. Is that what you're saying? So that's the opposite.
Yeah, I would.
So it's a transaction always.
Maybe.
It's funny when you think about it, like rationally. Like I was like all the other times, like some weird rules that we have in the world that we have to
social norms.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre when I think about it. The more I think about how ridiculous these expectations that there are, I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing any of these expectations anymore. Well, I can't remember someone's birthday. Sorry if it was your birthday, I can't remember. Oh, I'm saying. And then he's like, should we get him a gift? I'm like, nah. She's like, why aren't we? I'm like, yeah, they invited us because they wanted us. I've never gotten anything from this person before. Like, this is weird.
Yep. And I think
we are totally drifting off topic. My bad.
No, that's all right. I think the answer to that, the relationship is the indication of how far you go. Like if they're workmates, you don't really need to go too overboard. And then there's the situation where you and I are at, I feel like even you and I don't need to go overboard because I feel like our gifting to each other is like our friendship.
Yes.
Right. But that's a kind of an understanding between you and me, right? That we haven't had to explicitly talk about, but we just kind of get that between you and I. But then, yeah, it's very dependent on the occasion and very dependent on the relationship you have with the person. It's complicated.
Yeah, we've gone through the random things like the gifting thing before.
It's not hard and fast rule, definitely.
All right, so we're pretty comfortable that Christmas is pretty wasteful and polluting. But what do we do? Like, what is the wastefulness, the pollution? I'm going to ask you, is it a bad thing?
What? Did you, Jason?
Yes,
it's a bad thing.
Why is it a bad thing? What happens if it's all recycled? If they also went through a cycle of buy, all the packaging got recycled, all the plastic got recycled. Is there anything wrong with that?
I think, just to, introduce another element of my frustration is, it gets recycled and da-da-da-da-da, but there are a lot of people in the world, or just like in our country, who are much less fortunate. And we don't see that side of society because we don't associate with that side of society. And it just makes me feel ill. Again, I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint. I'm just trying to share my heart for this kind of stuff.
Thank you.
That people are very willing to go and spend all this money on wastefully and mindlessly on stuff they're just going to recycle anyway, when there are people who just need to eat.
Mm.
Okay,
you can't base your life and how you live your life based on how other people's situations are.
Yes, I can, and I do. Absolutely.
Well, that means you'd give up what you have and go live like them then.
No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means being grateful for what I have. Absolutely being grateful for the blessings that I have and the life that I have. And and when I go to spend, X amount of money on whatever, I sort of go, all right, Sal, if you've got $70 to spend on your nails, right? It's cool. This is for me. I am not saying this for anybody else. This is the way I choose to live my life. I go, all right, if you can spend $70 on your nails, you've got money to help someone. And you can do that in a very clever way that's not condescending to that person.
Yeah.
There are people in our sphere. We're not even talking about people, outside our sphere, people in our sphere who are struggling. And I'm not going to go and buy my kid a $500 thing just because they asked me when there's a neighbor who is struggling to feed their kids. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. That's my thing. I'm not projecting it on anyone. I can't say that enough. This is not a guilt thing for anybody. The way that people spend their money, the choices that they make are their choices.
But it sounds to me, if I can comment on that, it sounds to me that you're guilty for what you have.
No, I'm not. No, I'm absolutely not.
Then why? Then what doesn't matter what someone else's situation is? You can't help that.
Yes, I can. I have the means to help that.
How's that? You're just giving them money is just a band-aid. It's not going to help them in their situation.
No, it's the way that you do it. I could make them a meal. I could say if something was on special, I don't know, and this is like probably more of a mum thing to do, granted. I see something on special, I could go, so-and-so, I saw this, got myself one, got you one as well. We've all got the money to extend. We do. The poorest person has money to think of someone else.
Mate, even the homeless have smartphones nowadays.
What? Okay. What are you just eating pizza?
No, pie pies.
No, and that's, what? That is just the way I was raised, man. I was always raised, and it's probably because my parents come from a less fortunate country. I'm very grateful for what I have. So what I do is so the stuff that I have less of, but I really appreciate it. Yes, yes.
I don't think so
too. I'll put it out there right now. Like my runners cost between $100 and $200 to $100 and easy.
Money bag style stuff.
No, but hang on a minute. That's what I choose to save up my money and use it on that, and I appreciate those kicks. Okay, I'm not buying all these different kicks and walking through the mud with them.
But I don't think being giving and being grateful are connected. having gratitude is just to be grateful for what you have. That helping someone out isn't an act of gratitude. That's an act of giving. They're totally two different things, in my opinion.
For me, sure, they are two different concepts, but I feel like, for me personally, I feel like my gratitude for the blessings I have and my giving is like the overflow of what I have. I'm not keeping all that stuff to myself, man. No way. And I'm not going to go, oh, well, you know, my kids are going to have the best of everything and whatever, and I'm not going to share with anyone. I'm not doing that. And again, I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint. I'm not trying to say I'm just such a good
Saint
person.
Sally.
No, I'm not. There's so many things I could be better at.
Saving old people and giving back to the world. Sorry. That was not called for, Jason.
Do you know what? I want a whole episode on the faults of Sally, because there are plenty. I'm just saying that I have been conditioned. Oh, thank you, mate. I have been conditioned, and the way that I have been raised has always been.
Yeah.
You have, and that's you know, all the praise be to the Lord for giving to us, and from that overflow of giving, you share with other people. You don't keep it all for yourself. It's not a guilt thing. It's just a common decency thing, I think.
Well, that must mean I'm the most undecent person.
Well, I don't think so, because you bought me heaps of stuff.
No, but like,
so
I don't really do anything for anyone apart from the people I care about. Like, because at the end of the day, ultimately, I really do believe in personal accountability and responsibility. And if you end up, it sounds harsh, but sometimes people get dealt a poor hand, and there's not much I can do about that.
But that's your value system, right? That's your value system, and you seem to me like you're very good with that. So this is not me hitting you over the head with, you know.
I don't feel that way either.
Yeah, good. That's not it. I'm just saying, from my perspective, yeah, I just feel like the money or the whatever my earnings are for everybody around me, not just me. You know, as long as if my bills are paid, there's food in the fridge, the lights are on, and I've still got access, I'm very happy to share that with the people I love or those around me that I know need a hand. And like I keep saying, it's the way that you do it. You know, instead of going, oh, here's $50, make them a meal and a dessert and whatever worth $50, and go, hey, you know, I made lasagna, I made 2. Here you go, have one.
You know, it's the worst kind of giving, though. I'm sorry if I'm actually hopefully this doesn't offend you. Sorry. The worst kind of giving are those that give and tell people about it.
Oh, no. No, you don't do that. That's the
opposite of what you're doing.
It's a Bible. It's in the Bible. Matthew. Oh my gosh, I'll find it. It actually said it's in the book of Matthew, and it says
humility about your giving as well. Yeah.
Oh, you're not allowed to say anything. You do it in secret. The Bible says if you're going to give to people, you do that on secret. You don't put it on Instagram. Oh, I just fed a family. Oh my gosh, no, you don't give to, I don't know, like.
One person did my head in, man.
No, you don't. No, I'm way against that.
Posting on social media. Tonight I'm going to work at the soup kitchen to help homeless people. Here's a selfie of me at the soup. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this?
For
social media points.
There's part of me that has grace for that, I have to admit, because we are so conditioned now to document everything that sometimes there's that mindlessness. You just don't have that boundary where you go, actually, this doesn't need to go on social media. We're just so conditioned I'm someone who's very conditioned to document everything. I'll put my hands up and say I'm in that category. And sometimes you go, oh, maybe that didn't need to go on social media. But then, you go back to the 5 love languages, and I'm someone who, my love language is words of affirmation. I'm an expressive person. So some people could look at that and go, oh my gosh, Sally's posted again.
Oh man. Social media would be a killer for your love language then.
Why is that?
As in, like, when you get words of affirmation. So you put, I'm not saying this is it, but when you put stuff out there, people give feedback, and if that feedback's positive, that'd be working to your love language.
Yeah, and I've had to be really cognizant of that, and really, really aware that whatever happens on here is not a reflection of my worth or my skill, or I have been through time. I mean, social media has been out for 10 something years now, right? But yeah. I have been through periods where social media activity or lack thereof has been directly proportionate to my mood, be it low or high, right? So I have had to be really cognizant of this doesn't mean anything. If I choose to post, I choose to post, and that's it. Liked, commented, whatever, irrelevant. That's my choice. I'm choosing to do it. If people see me as a spammer, I don't really care. I'm going to do what I want. Unfollow me if you don't like it. That's an option. But I'm someone who's I express myself through words and through pictures, and so whatever. Anyway, we've gone off topic again. But yes, no. If you are doing an act of kindness, don't put it on social media. Like, different. I think it's different if you were at the soup kitchen and their photography team or their marketing team got a photo of you. I think that's a bit different. You go, yeah, all right, cool. But to actually go out of your way.
Check out me with the ladle.
And if you are doing that, we're not judging you. We're just saying from our perspective.
Yes, I am. I am judging you.
Jason.
Do not selfie your virtuous stuff. It's just weird. You know it is.
Yeah, I agree. And I've probably done it. And you know what? If I've done it, I'm sorry. I'm seriously going to try to. I'm going to try to be better. Lots of
dumb stuff on social media. I just think about it now, of all the stuff I put on social media. I'm like, who the hell am I talking to? Like, who is this even for? No, it's not.
I don't want us to be social media haters or people that really into social media. Like, I don't want to bag them out. I really have a grace for this society because we are swimming in it. Social media is just, it's just there. It's not going anywhere. So I kind of get it when people kind of fall into the trap of posting.
Oh.
I don't think it's that sinister. I don't think it's that well thought out. I think people just do it.
How are you not on TikTok yet?
What is TikTok?
Oh, get on it. It's the biggest growing social media platform. So people who like to sing and dance, actually.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
We had the people from the head office come into our office the other day to tell us about it. And one of the guys goes, it was so good. He just puts his hand up. He's like, is there anything else on TikTok apart from people bad singing? Just straight up to the people. They're like, oh yeah. It was something like bad singing and over-sexualizing young girls, like that. And he was like, oh, no, it's lots of things and very engaging. And like all I'm hearing is like all these buzzwords. I'm like, you guys have got no idea.
Yeah.
And they're Chinese too.
Yeah, love the Chinese. All right, so yeah, good discussion. I just thought we'd bookend with a memory Christmas Eve is great, but it's also equally difficult for Jason and I because we lost one of our best friends around 20 years ago on the 24th of December. And I remember driving home back in the day where you still drove and spoke on the phone. And I was driving back.
Days.
Yeah, glory days. And I was driving back to my parents' house and you rang me. And you said to me, are you driving? And I said, yeah. And you said, I remember this like it was yesterday. You said, pull over. And I was like, nah. And you said, Sal, you have to pull over. And I'm like, nah. And I remember hanging up on you and throwing the phone because you wouldn't do that. I just knew it was bad news because you would not ring me and say, are you driving? Pull over. Like I was like 500 meters away from my house and I just knew instinctively, I knew that I needed to get in the house. I need to sit on the couch because whatever you were going to tell me wasn't good. Yeah. And you were the one actually that told me that our friend passed away, which was really, really hard for us. So hard for us. But in this really, I think one of the silver linings there was I think it bonded us, our group, more. Like I feel like I've got this kind of very, very unique bond with you guys more than any other group that I've got that I'm associated with because we experienced death together at a really young age. Like we were like 21 or something. We were super young. And that was really impactful for my life and has been ever since. But I think for us to collectively go through that at such a young age was very unique. Yeah. What would be his name was Matt, and what would be your favourite Matt memory?
I think it was just all the times we used to go out and stuff. Tell Lucy got it was pretty funny actually. Like he was a bit of a ladies' man.
Oh yeah, we hooked up. I hooked up with him.
Oh, did you? I think I knew that. Yeah.
Don't hook up with your friends. It's just why? It's just don't do that. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to get really mad. When you said something in you're like, no, don't say that.
No, don't say
that. Yeah, I think he was just a person full of life, and it was just sad that he went so soon. Such a young age.
I agree. Like we were together. We were all together all the time. Like, so there were no kids, we were still studying, we had jobs, but they were part-time jobs. So if we weren't asleep or at work, we were together. And it was just such a fun, joyful time. But going out, driving around, eating pizza, La Paqueta. Oh my gosh, Macca's.
I can't believe that place still exists.
Even when we were all in class together, it was amazing. But my number one memory has to be Torch Day. That was. I feel like Torch Day was the solidification of the codependence. Like that. Oh my gosh! If I could go back to any day, I think it would be Torch Day. Where what year was that?
I'm looking it up now. It would have been 99. Oh, so it is 20 years.
Yeah, 1999, and the Olympic torch
was going through Berwick. So lame.
And the streets of Berwick were lined with people
to see a torch.
And no, my favorite was when there were like little kids there, like on excursion, like even little kids came out of school to see this torch go by, And Maddie would drive up and down past these kids beeping the horn, and they thought it was the torch, and they'd be like, "Yay!" We'd do another U-turn. He'd drive past, beep the horn. They were like, "Yay!" We just kept doing that for ages. That was fun, man. But then we saw the torch. We saw the torch. Bree and I went off our heads with excitement. We were so excited.
Do you think in today's day and age, if there was another torch to flow through Australia, do you think that many people would go out and see it today?
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
I look at that now. I'm like, I don't understand it. Why are people excited to see a torch?
Community, get together, Olympic, getting in the, why not? Seriously, it was one of the best days of my life. Loved it.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this up now. We talked about something sad. Let's go to something happy.
All right.
I think I'm going to love this tradition actually. Like, especially when you talk about what's the word I'm looking for? When you watch, when you talk about things that are pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think it's always good to flip it on its head and go something a little bit
lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood. So this guy. So last week we did a comedian, Joe Coy. We're going to do another comedian today.
Right.
This guy's called Sebastian Maniscalco. I only discovered him not long ago, but he's actually quite massive now, and apparently sold out like 10 Madison Square Gardens or something like that. Like a stand-up comedian. Like, whoa, he must be pretty good. So I saw this bit, his latest one. It's called "When Your Doorbell Rang 20 Years Ago versus Now."
Love it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to go back to your house and regroup, right? I was sitting in my house a couple weeks ago, just relaxing. My doorbell rang. This is weird. It's a different feeling when your doorbell rings today opposed to 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, your doorbell rang. That was a happy moment in your house. It's called company. Be sitting there on a Thursday night watching TV. Your doorbell rang. The whole family shot off the couch. Oh my God! Put the lights on. Somebody's here. We got people. The whole family went to the door. The kids were in socks. They slid up to the door. Nobody looked to see who it was. Right? You just opened up the door. You were like, oh my God, look at that. Look at us here. And you'd ask them, what the hell are you doing here? And the person would be like, I was in the neighborhood. I thought I might stop by, see how the kids are doing. They're like, oh, come on in. We're going to have some cake. Your mother had a little Entenmann's. Here's some Sara Lee crumble cake. Just in case company came over. She made an announcement when she bought it. She's like, listen, nobody touch this cake. This is for company only. Those crap muffins, those are for you people. You better hope to God somebody comes over so we can cut the cake. She put her cake in the middle of the table, proud of it. And she put it right in the middle. Got yourself a slice. Want a cup of coffee? We're gonna do want some Sanka? Yeah, that's old school. A lot of the young kids are looking at me like, what is that, an iPhone app? What the hell is Sanka? Your mother had a tin, brown and orange tin of Sanka, ready to go.
What is
Just in
Sanka?
case the company. She put a big pot on the table. Go ahead. Nobody had a cell phone back then. If your house phone did ring, your father stood up and said, "Nobody get that phone. We got company." And you lost track of time. 2 hours went by. You were like, "We got to get out of here." That's okay. Next time we're going to come by you. Like, yeah, my door's always open. Now your doorbell rings? It's like, what the fuck? All right, your own mother's crawling across the kitchen floor. Get down, my army crawl. Army crawl, get in the closet. Go get the sword in the living room. Somebody get the sword underneath the couch in the living room. There's a sword. All right, you have to turn and ask your family, you invite anybody over? You invite anybody over? There's always that person upstairs that didn't hear the bell. They come walking down. What the hell is going on? Get the hell down. Somebody's outside. They're at the door. I think they saw movement. Oh, God. I got to open it. I got no cake. I got no sink. I got nothing. Got nothing for these people. You can't stop by anybody's house anymore. If you do, you have to call from the driveway. You're like, "I'm here, can I approach?" It's me and 3 other people. We're gonna walk up through this side. Is that your mother with a sword? Why did you have a sword?
There you go.
That was so good, man. That was
So true, though.
That's brilliant. No one wants company anymore.
Yeah, it's like, we just live on social media. We'll just catch up via, you got a letter. Oh.
Oh, how am I going to take a photo of us for Christmas? Christmas photo.
Oh.
How do I do that?
We just know that we were together, Sally. We don't need to take a photo.
I think we should for our page.
Okay.
Happy Christmas from us.
Yeah, I could.
How
I
do you
could
do
send
that?
a screenshot. I'll
right.
find a screenshot for you, and then
All
you
right.
can post it. Well, I've got to wrap it up. We've been talking
Merry
for a while.
Christmas.
Nearly an hour and a
Merry
half.
Christmas, Sam. Yeah. So you've got some editing to do.
That's right. Lots of editing. Now, I'm thinking for next week. Are you available next week?
Yeah.
It's the end of a decade, Sally.
Come
The
on.
best of, what do you call this decade? What is it? The
Teens?
teens?
We'll just call it the teens.
Teens. The 20 teens.
Yeah.
The best is when, think about when this decade started versus now and how different things are. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think it's great. That's a really, really good topic. Let's do that.
Yeah. All right,
Good
cool.
stuff. Merry
And
Christmas.
one last task.
Yeah.
Top 5 movies of the last decade.
Oh my gosh, I haven't watched any. I've got kids.
Oh, well, the ones that you have watched.
Okay. Yep. It's good. I
All
like
right.
it. Yep.
You have yourself a Merry Christmas. I hope the kids have a great time, and I
Yeah,
will see
you too.
next week.
See you on the other side.
Stay true.
Merry Christmas.